Everyone knows that Ultraman is the warrior of light. However, in the 60-year history of the Ultraman franchise, Subaraya Productions has also introduced many evil Ultraman and Dark Ultraman. In today's video, we will discuss all the Dark Ultraman that have appeared so far, whether in series or movie versions. Just a reminder, this video will only focus on discussions about Dark and Evil Ultras, while imitations, fakes, and Robot Ultras will be discussed in a separate video. Let's get into the video. Number 1. Evil Tega. Debuted in episode 44 of the Ultraman Tega series. Similar to Ultraman Tega, he was originally a good giant of light. However, due to the influence of his host, a scientist named Keigo Masaki, Evil Tega turned malicious after being forcefully merged with him. He caused chaos in the city and even killed Guardi for his amusement. In the end, Evil Tega faced the consequences of his actions and was defeated by Ultraman Tega. Number 2. Tiga Dark. Made his debut in the movie Ultraman Tega, The Final Odyssey. Tiga Dark is the original form of Ultraman Tega when he was the leader of the Dark Giants, which included Camila, Daram, and Hydra. He was known as the most decisive and most ruthless Dark Ultra at that time. However, everything changed when he encountered Uzair. She successfully influenced Tiga Dark, leading him to choose the path of light once again. Tiga defeated Daram, Hydra, and his former lover, Chimera, absorbing their powers and gaining type changes. He then sealed them as stone statues in the ancient Orlai ruins. Tiga is such a good man, huh? Next one, we have the first generations of the Giants of Darkness, who was former members that led by Tiga Dark, who also made their debut in the same movie. Let's start with Camila, who was Tiga Dark's ex-lover. After being released from the seal created by Ultraman Tega, Camila terrorized Dago and attempted to turn him back into a dark giant. However, all her efforts were in vain, and she ended up in a battle with Ultraman Tega. Sadly, she died in Dago's arms, still unable to understand why Ultraman Tega left her and didn't bring her to embrace the path of light. Moving on, we have Daram and Hydra. Their roles were relatively minor throughout the movie, and their fate didn't differ much from their past. Ultraman Tega once again defeated them and absorbed their powers before finally confronting Camila. At number 6, we have Chaos Ultraman, who made his debut in episode 39 of Ultraman Cosmos. Chaos Ultraman is a dark clone of Ultraman Cosmos that was summoned after Masashi was infected by the Chaos Header. Initially, Chaos Ultraman had the advantage in terms of power against Ultraman Cosmos, but he was eventually defeated by Cosmos Eclipse mode. In their second encounter, just as Cosmos was about to defeat the clone once again, the Chaos Header energy from the Point P87 upgraded the clone into Chaos Ultraman Calamity. As Chaos Calamity, the clone became capable of withstanding all forms of Cosmos attacks. Possessing limitless power, Chaos Calamity easily overwhelmed Ultraman Cosmos. Chaos Calamity was ultimately defeated when members of the Ice Team destroyed his color timer. In number 7, we have Dark Faust. Dark Faust, also known as Faust, debuted in the 2004 TV series Ultraman Nexus. In reality, Faust was Riko Seda, the lover of the main character Kazuki Koman, who was tragically killed by Nosferatu and became a puppet under Dark Mephisto control. Transformed into Faust, she battled Ultraman Nexus, claiming to be Nexus' dark counterpart. Faust had the power to absorb endless darkness like Dark Mephisto, but was less defensively strong. In the final battle of episode 12, Riko's consciousness was restored by Koman's voice, and she sacrificed herself to save him from Nosferatu's attack. Returning to her human form, Riko passed away in Koman's arms, transforming into particles of light. Number 8, Dark Mephisto, is the second Dark Ultra who emerged after Dark Faust. He merged with Shinya Mizuroji, a former deputy captain of TLT's Knight Raider division and a mentor/love interest to Nagi Seijo. Dark Mephisto orchestrated certain events in secret, including the demise of Riko Seda and her possession by Dark Faust. In episode 24, Dark Mephisto engaged in a fierce battle against Ultraman Nexus, and Jun Hinya made a brave sacrifice to defeat him. In episode 32, Mizuroji regained his humanity and transformed back into Mephisto by absorbing light particles, though he eventually sacrificed himself to assist Nexus in defeating Dark Mephisto's wide. Mizuroji passed away as an honorable man embraced by Nagi. Number 9. Dark Mephisto's Y. He was created by unknown hand as a successor to the original. He looks similar to the first Dark Mephisto, but his eyes turn red when he gets emotional. His suit is a modified version from Dark Mephisto's spare suit. In episode 32, Hiroyuki Misawa, a member of TLT, gets pulled into darkness and transforms into Dark Mephisto's Y. He has similar abilities to Mezoroju's Dark Mephisto, but is more powerful. However, the first Dark Mephisto's determination and sacrifice proved too much for him. In the end, Ultraman Nexus destroys him with an arrow of light. Number 10. Dark Sachi. Made his debut in the final episode of Ultraman Nexus. He is a bioweapon created by the visitors designed to resemble Ultraman No. Due to low ratings, the anticipated epic battle between Sachi and Noah turned into a one-sided fight, with Noah easily defeating Sachi. Dark Sachi later reappeared in Ultraman Ginga Theater Special, summoned by Dark Bluegill to challenge Ginga. The two engaged in a fierce battle, but Sachi was ultimately defeated as his energy core cracked and he exploded. His spark doll was then recovered by Dark Bluegill. Number 11. Ultraman Belial made his debut in 2009 as the first evil Ultraman from the Land of Light. He is best known as the archenemy of Ultraman Zero and the father of Ultraman Geed. Belial was once a great warrior who fought in the Ultra Great Wars, but his pride and greed corrupted him. Belial's downfall began when he got interred by Ultraman Ken, which led him to attempt to steal the powerful plasma spark. As a result, he was banished from the Land of Light. Injured and cast out, Belial encountered alien Rayblood, who transformed him into a Rayonix, forever aligning him with darkness. As an evil Ultraman, Belial gained power-ups and evolved into Arc Belial. He eventually reached his strongest form, Belial Atrocious, becoming the final antagonist in the Ultraman Geed series. In the end, Belial met his demise at the hands of his synthetic son, Ultraman Geed. Number 12. Zero Darkness. After Ultraman Zero clashed against Kaiser Darkness and defeated him, Belial's soul left the Armor of Darkness and went inside Zero to possess him. Now using the body of his arch-nemesis, Belial had gained more power than he ever had by himself. He then proceeded to kill every member of the Ultimate Force Zero and destroy the mighty base. However, the spirits of Zero's fallen comrades gave him strength and he transformed into Shining Ultraman Zero, expelling Belial's spirit. Zero Darkness was defeated. In Ultra Galaxy Fight, New Generation Heroes, a cheap copy of Zero Darkness created by Ultra Dark Killer made a comeback, but Zero easily defeated him using his upgraded form, Zero Beyond Galaxy Glitter. Number 13. Dark Bluegill made his first appearance in 2013 in the TV series Ultraman Ginga. In the story, Dark Bluegill and Ultraman Ginga were originally one entity but diverged in their beliefs about eternal life. Dark Bluegill believed that eternal life should be stagnant and unchanging, without any variation. His goal was to halt time for humans, monsters, Ultraman, and other beings in the universe, creating a world devoid of hatred, conflict, and sadness. However, Ginga disagreed, stating that all life forms bring prosperity. This disagreement led to their separation, with Ginga embodying the light and Bluegill embodying the darkness, taking the form of a shadow as a dark giant. Bluegill appeared at the end of a major conflict between the Ultras and the forces of evil, and used the Dark Spark to initiate the event known as the Dark Spark War. This war transformed every Ultra, alien, monster, and terrible monster into Spark Dolls. Both Ginga and Bluegill were transformed into Spark Dolls and fell to Earth. Their conflict reached its climax when they fought each other again in the final episode. Ultimately, Dark Bluegill was defeated by Ginga. Number 14. Ultraman Dark and 7 Dark. They are refers to the dark versions of Shodei Ultraman and Ultra 7 that appear in the 8th and 9th episodes of the Ultraman Ginga series. This 2 Dark Ultramans was dark-lived by Seiichiro Isurugi, Misuzu's father. In contrast to the original version, this dark version features a color scheme of red and black instead of red and silver. The smooth curved patterns on their body have been replaced with more aggressive straight lines. Additionally, both can replicate the signature moves of Ultraman and Ultra 7, such as the wide shot and the Spatium Beam. Furthermore, as the pilot is his future father-in-law, this made Hikaru had hard times facing him. In the end, Ultraman Ginga managed to defeat 7 Dark by using the power of Top no Jutsu. He seized the opportunity to use his finisher and defeat 7 Dark. Number 15, Orb Dark. Ultraman Orb Dark is a dark version of Ultraman Orb, appearing in the Ultraman R/B series. He is known for his unique name, Ultraman Orb Dark nor Black Schwarz, given to him by Sachi.
Ultraman Orb Dark Noir Black
A devoted fan of Ultraman Orb. Orb Dark stands out for being incredibly talkative, even among the many Ultraman characters. Compared to the original Orb, this fan-made version has a color scheme of black and gray on his body patterns, with red eyes and a unified red color timer. In his first appearance, he displayed his power by defeating Ultraman Rosso and Blue, criticizing them for not meeting the standards of true Ultraman. Surprisingly, he used his newfound identity to stage heroic acts, hoping to gain popularity with the townspeople. However, his reign as Orb Dark came to an end when he was defeated by a powered version of Ouroboros, resulting in the loss of his transformation item. With the loss of his transformation item, and Sachi being separated from Aizen body, Ultraman Orb Dark is no more. Number 16, Ultraman Tega. First appeared as the main antagonist in the movie Ultraman R/B the movie and later became the main antagonist in the series Ultraman Tega. Initially, Tega was depicted as a clever and manipulative character, but as the Ultra Galaxy Fight series unfolded, we learned about his tragic past. Before Tega turned to darkness, he was a scientist and a friend of Ultraman Taro on the Land of Light. He even created the Tega Spark. However, Tega became disappointed when Taro couldn't understand his emotions due to his naivety. This disappointment led Tega down a different path. After witnessing the dark actions of Ultraman Belial and seeing his respected mentor, Hikari, succumb to anger as the hunter knight Tsurugi, Tega started questioning the concepts of light and darkness and the divine nature of Ultraman. Feeling lost and confused, he left the Land of Light and began traveling through space. During his journey, Tega absorbed Grindo, which transformed him into a sadistic trickster. He would deceive others by offering to fulfill their dreams. When Tega discovered that Taro already had a son named Tega, he attempted to lead Tega down a path of darkness. However, his plans ultimately failed, and he was defeated in the movie Ultraman Tega. Before facing his final moments, Tega called out Taro's name.
Taro!
Number 17, Dark Spirit Ultramans. Dark Spirit Ultramans specifically refers to the evil clone Ultraman featured in the Ultraman Galaxy Fight series. They are created when the Ultra Dark Killers seal the Ultraman's light energy and merge it with his killer plasma. They include Giga Darkness, Hex Darkness, Orb Darkness, and Zero Darkness. The 4 Dark Warriors possess similar appearances and have identical abilities to their respective counterparts. Although they using the basic form from their original counterpart, but they can enhance their own power through dark energy, making them to suppress the original Ultraman. They are defeated by the original Ultraman. Number 18, Ultrawoman Grigio Darkness. Apart from the 4 Dark Spirit Ultras created by the Ultra Dark Killer, we also have Grigio Darkness. She first appeared in a stage show at the Ultra Heroes Expo 2021 New Year Festival and later made her official debut in Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Destined Crossroad. Grigio Darkness was created when an alien bat replicated the Ultra Dark Killer's killer plasma and combined it with Grigio's stolen light energy. The 2 Grigios engaged in a fierce battle, initially favoring Grigio Darkness. However, with the support and encouragement from Ultraman Nice, Ultraman Earth, and Ultraman Boy, the original Grigio found the strength to fight back. They clashed their energy beams, and Grigio emerged as the victor, ultimately defeating and destroying her dark counterpart. Moving on, we have the new generation's Giant of Darkness. They are the main antagonists that debuted in Ultraman Trigger, New Generation Tega series. They have similar designs and roles as the first generation Dark Giants. However, their characterizations differ. Carmilla is portrayed as Trigger Dark's Yandere ex-girlfriend. Determined to bring him back to her side, she blames Kengo for stealing Tiga Dark from her. Thankfully, Chimera doesn't meet the same fate as Camila. She finds her happiness with Tiga. In episode 8 of Ultraman Decker, with Decker's help, Kengo managed to save Chimera from Sphere Megaluther's body, and they live happily afterward. I mean, who in their right mind would willingly let go of a drop-dead gorgeous girlfriend like Chimera? Next, we have Dargan, the wisest of the 3 dark giants. He has strong sense of honor and respect for those brave enough to challenge him. Dargan goes through a unique character development, shifting from being an enemy to falling in love with Yuna. Unfortunately, things take a sad turn when Chimera manipulates Dargan into becoming evil. Despite being under her control, Dargan still showed his respectful nature and chose to be defeated by Aikido, his rival in love. He dies honorably, which saddens fans. However, in episode 8 of Ultraman Decker, it's revealed that Chimera still holds Dargan's soul, hinting at the possibility of his revival. And finally, we have Hudram, also known as the naughty boy with a serious anger problem. While Dargan and Chimera may have their good sides, Hudram is just pure evil. When he woke up, he went on a rampage and wiped out all the Lashirians except for Ignis, who survived. He's been causing trouble and always trying to get his hands on the Eternity Core for himself. To make matters worse, he even betrayed Chimera and Dargan. Eventually, Hudram found himself in an intense battle with Ignis, fighting over the power of the Eternity Core. But in the end, Ignis emerged victorious and defeated him. The most satisfying moment was when Chimera, who had been betrayed by Hudram, showed up and delivered the final blow. Hudram's death was definitely a satisfying scene to watch. Number 22, Tiga Dark is the 4th dark giant to appear in the Ultraman Tiga TV series, and he represents Tiga's original form before being separated in the present day after being defeated by Glitter Tiga Eternity. Initially, the original Tiga Dark was portrayed as a stoic and emotionally restrained individual, in stark contrast to his teammates' enjoyment of battles. Despite being the object of Chimera's affection, Tiga shows no signs of returning her feelings and simply follows her instructions without question. Upon his resurrection in the present day, Tiga Dark becomes a berserker, attacking everything in sight, including friends and foes alike. He is ultimately defeated by Tiga and reduced to a dark essence, which Ignis absorbs after the battle. Similar to the case of the evil Tiga, Tiga Dark would go berserk every time he transformed due to Ignis's inability to control the dark power. However, after Aikido improves the transformation device, the berserk state can be controlled. Tiga Dark also has the ability to use Keiju Hyper Keys to power up. The Ouroboros Key grants him increased speed, while the Zagor Key enhances his attacks. With the power of Tiga Dark and the Glitter Eternity Hyper Key, Ignis finally manages to seek revenge against Hudram, who was responsible for the extermination of his clan. Number 23, Evil Tiga is an antagonist who appears in Ultraman Tiga. Episode Z, he is an evil Ultra Warrior based on the character of Evil Tiga from Ultraman Tega. Unlike Evil Tiga, who had a distinct design from Ultraman Tega, Evil Tiga simply uses the Tiga costume, but with colors resembling Evil Tiga. In the storyline, Zabel manages to obtain Kengo's Sparklins and Hyper Keys. He connects them to the Eternity Core's altar and sacrifices the lives of his cultists to create an artificial light based on Tiga's data. Using the ancient Sparklins, Zabel transforms into Evil Tiga. However, instead of becoming a true savior of humanity like Tiga, Zabel descends further into madness, driven by his desire to become a messianic figure, and falls into darkness. Evil Tiga grows to giant size and begins to destroy everything in his path. However, he is swiftly defeated by Tiga Dark, and Set, shattering into pieces when struck by their combined beam attacks. Honestly, Evil Tiga has a well-designed appearance, but the issue lies with Zabel's narcissism and exaggerated reactions. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if there are any mistakes, please let me know in the comment section. Also, feel free to share your favorite dark or evil ultras in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.